what you want to do?
I don't like anyone. No one's like you. I don't like them.
You and getting back in there with him again?
Honestly, I'm not too interested in it. I don't see myself ever, getting back in the ring.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live. Hey, yo. Bill Haney is back at it again. He did a brand new interview with Fight Hub TV. Let's jump right into the quotes. He says, Devin Haney is a champion. And bookmark that because I'm going to come back to that. Ryan Garcia is not. Oscar De La Hoya hasn't been able to make a champion out of Ryan Garcia. And this was regarding a question if them suing Ryan Garcia would impact the fight happening, a rematch, because that's what people want to see. Bill Haney continues by saying, Devin wants to fight whoever the people want to see, but he wants it to be on a level playing field. We do it for the people. They're the ones that pay the bills, not the promoters, right? This was when he was asked directly on would they want a rematch with Ryan Garcia. If the fans want to see a fight, then there's a network that wants to put it on. The days of Oscar De La Hoya saying what he wants is over with. He said there's no need for a rematch, but that's him not listening to the people. That's him creating fake narratives as if the people aren't calling for it. Wow. I got so much to say, but I'm trying to get through these quotes for you. Please smash the like button. He said the biggest thing is drug testing. He said he was crazy, so if you were crazy enough to do it the first time, then you'll be crazy enough to do it a second time, meaning pop dirty. Then that's the stickler, that he enrolls in a drug testing program. You put something on the table where you would be the A side and we would be the B side would be an insult. They knew that it was an insult. And that was regarding a different fight with Devin Haney and Teofimo. But in this video, I do want to focus more on the rematch with Ryan Garcia. Let go. First things first, Bill Haney in this interview with Fight Hub TV, in my opinion, he's not really saying much. The host was asking some good questions, said, will Devin come back? They said, yeah, probably April or later, 2025, no biggie. They want drug testing. Of course, on my channel, I've always been an advocate for a clean sport. There's a lot of Haneyacks that want you to believe these narratives. And it's funny because Bill Haney is constantly talking about YouTubers and content creators, as he did in this particular interview, and the Haneyacks would lead you to believe that people just support Ryan cheating and everybody's open to Ryan popping dirty, and that's not it at all. But let the Haneyacks live in their fantasy world. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. My track record speaks for itself. You can't find one video where I supported somebody popping dirty, right? When Povetkin tested positive in front of the Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder fight with the Meldonian, when Ray Beltran, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through every positive test. Gerald Big Baby Miller, my answers, my reaction was all the same. The biggest difference with Jarrell Big Baby Miller testing and popping dirty ahead of a Anthony Joshua fight, meet with me, or the other example I gave, Povetkin versus Deontay Wilder, is they popped dirty during training camp for a signed fight, meaning we didn't actually get to see the fight. We didn't see anybody's flaws. The fight just, luckily was canceled. Unfortunately for Devin Haney, that was not the case. And it's really nobody's fault except for Ryan for popping dirty, but also Team Haney, and I'll explain why. Team Haney had options when Ryan, like, you know how they say if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck, right? There were very telltale signs that Ryan was tripping in general in the buildup to this fight. Anybody who lived it and was paying attention, they seen Ryan acting bizarre, didn't look like he was training. He was with OnlyFans chicks, saying he was getting married, saying he impregnated some chick. He was at the club drinking, singing, you know, both in the club singing Nike, and I wish I never met her at all. It gets better, holding another, you know, he was doing the whole thing. And the whole time, the whole buildup, your boy Ego was like, hey, he's bugged out. He's making me not want to see the fight anymore. They should just cancel this. People were also suggesting that they weren't sure if Ryan was even going to make it to the fight. They had a understudy, Arnold Barboza, whose sole purpose for being the co-feature was to get a paycheck and show up in the event that one of the two main combatants pulled out. Team Haney seen Ryan miss weight. Of course, they didn't know he popped dirty because that wasn't discovered till weeks later after the fight had already happened. So it played out like that. But there were options for Team Haney to have abandoned the fight. I would have took it. Ryan acting weird. I told you it was a lose-lose situation because Ryan had effectively unsold the fight with his behavior. This is before a pop dirty drug test. You know what I mean? That's the reality. So it's funny to see the Haneyacks, they want to act like everybody's in support of cheating. That's not the case at all. Unfortunately for Devin, the fight happened and we got to witness it. And many people, including myself, aren't of the belief that Ostarine alone is responsible for Devin. Like, he got hurt in the first minute of the first round. You could be on whatever you want. Ostarine, a SARM, there's no SARM that's just going to give you that straight away. Timing, power, speed, the whole shebang, to the point where you're rocking. Because again, Devin is not the only person who has faced somebody that was on something, right? And the other thing that I think a lot of people misrepresent is there are ways to flush your system, masking agents, ways to beat the test, right? So stop playing with me. There's a lot of fighters who have probably fought somebody who was on something. However, the test didn't catch it. You look at Lance Armstrong. He didn't get caught until much later. Like, he was winning all these Tour de France's and he was winning races. And then it later came out that he had stuff in his system. Marion Jones, who worked with Devin Haney's, snack program, and Victor Conti, same deal. She won a gold medal in the Olympics, and then all the dirt about testing positive and stuff came out after. She would have never had the medal if they knew in real time. So that's the other thing that people are failing to factor. But I will say this, the questions, Bill Haney is the ultimate deceiver in boxing. Devin is not as good a speaker as, I guess you could say, Bill Haney, or as Bill Haney thinks he is. So Devin is the fighter, and then they let Bill Haney do all the talking, and he tries to politic and campaign to make it sound good, but he's really not saying much. Oftentimes he'll talk in circles. He won't directly answer a question. Imagine if Bill Haney was in court and you had to ask him straight up and down these questions. He'd be all over the place like he is in these interviews. I don't feel, from the portions I watch, that he really provides. It's like, what's the point of even doing the interview when nothing is answered? The host was asking him, will Devin fight at 47? Because he's big and everyone talks about the big blah, blah, blah. He said, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. So it's like, you don't have anything. Who's your opponent? We don't know. We have to wait and see. You know what I mean? There's really nothing is clarified. And then he took shots at YouTubers again and content creators again. And he says, your co-content creators like to paint a narrative that we're not in boxing or something like that. You might as well just said my name. The funny thing is, I never said that they're not in boxing. I never said that Devin Haney isn't training. What I have repeatedly said, and see, the funny thing is, I am the best at this. When it comes to speaking on a mic, I don't mince words. When I speak, it's eloquent. I'm unmatched in this department, right? Gathering my thoughts. So at the end of the day, there should be no confusion to what Boxing Ego says, because I'm very specific. I know what I say because I'm there when I say it. What I have said is Devin Haney is in between a rock and a hard place. That's what I said. I said for several reasons, they keep saying, we have all these avenues, we have all these fights, we want this, we want that, yada, yada, yada. Okay, announce your fight. If you have so many options, announce your fight. Bill Haney took to social media at least 2 weeks ago. I know it was before Christmas and we've already had Christmas come and go. And he says, big news coming soon. Where's that big news? What was the big news? That Devin, his wife, and the Young Thug tape was coming out? Like, what was the big news? I must have missed it. So again, Bill Haney keeps taking shots at YouTubers and content creators as if they're painting narratives. All the while, he's doing just that and painting narratives, saying that they have all these options and these fights and they're going to do things their way. Okay, announce your next fight. I already made a video and I literally said, announce your fight by Christmas. And that was like a week before Christmas. Guess what? Devin didn't. Devin is the one. And see, this is where I really chop y'all up, because Devin is the one that said he's fighting in December, not Boxing Ego. So the Haneyacks, they want to get mad like, oh, Ego, come on, man. Why are you hating? I didn't say Devin was coming back this year. He said that. He said he was fighting, and this was at the Joshua versus Dubois fight, the one that he cussed out Eddie Hearn for the ticket snafu, right? And the media said, oh, when you back, he said December. So the Haneys, they could keep stalling and saying whatever they want, but you would not, it's like Pac said, you could tell the people you roll with whatever you want, but you would not know what's going on. If it's that easy and your options are plentiful, then announce your next fight. You don't have to say nothing else. Just announce, put out the flyer, let the media know when the press conference is, and that's that. The other thing he said that was confusing to me is Devin is a champion. I don't personally consider a champion in recess to be a champion. I believe that Puello versus Sandor Martin are going to battle for the WBC full title. So him saying Devin is a champion and Ryan is not, to me, is not entirely true, because you're suggesting that a champion in recess is an active champion. Devin is still suspended per BoxRec. So how is he a champion when he has the title of champion in a recess and two other guys are likely fighting for the full WBC belt? So in an effort to diss Ryan Garcia, you're not keeping it real. But then Devin Haney's dad will say everybody else is making up narratives, YouTubers are making up narratives, but you're the one lying, saying Devin is a champion, which technically, I don't know anyone that considers that a champion, a person who's a champion in recess. Then he tried to, like, I guess, low-key confront the host, because the host interviewed De La Hoya, and then he tells the media member, the host, what he should have said to Oscar De La Hoya when he was in front of him. And he says that Oscar is painting a narrative that the rematch can't happen. Another lie. If you watch the initial Fight Hub video, I watched it, where they're interviewing Oscar De La Hoya, what he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but you guys could go watch my past video I did about it or watch the actual interview. What De La Hoya said is, for me personally, I don't see the point for a Haney rematch for Ryan Garcia. Either way, Ryan is likely to have a tune-up, and then we'll see what's next. He didn't shut down, as Bill is trying to make it seem. He never shut down and said the doors are closed. He literally says in the interview, I personally don't see a need for the fight because basically he's saying that Ryan emphatically won. So he personally, and the host even told Bill this, and again, there was no rebuttal to this. So Bill tries to create these small fires, but they're not with truth, they're with lies. Oscar never said he's closing the door in that interview that he referenced to the rematch. He said personally he don't really see the need for it, but the battle and the beef is so intense, who knows? That's what he said. Something very close to that. And you guys could check the interview yourself. He says, based on the beef, it would be a big fight and make sense. So we'll see. So again, I think Bill continues to make it worse for his son because he wants to jump in and do all these interviews and podcasts without really saying much. You're not really saying much. The fighter is Devin. People want to know when he's coming back. You don't really have nothing new to offer. Like, it couldn't be me. I see boxing news that's not worth my time all the time, and I don't make videos about it. Like, that's what's lacking in this new social media era where people talk when there's really nothing to say. And there's times and a place for everything. And I think Devin should just do what he's doing. He looks like he's in shape. Keep training, situate that, get your mental right, have your baby, buy your girl a car, after the Young Thug tape, all that stuff. And then, announce what's next. But Bill Haney, it's like he can't take the losing positioning. So he's trying to do everything to sway the public and make the public appear, on his side, or like everybody's deceptive. And in actuality, he's the one that's deceiving people. I don't think the Haneys really want the rematch with Ryan Garcia anytime soon. Bill Haney is saying Devin wants to fight whoever the people want to see. However, Devin said on ESPN he had never been overmatched like that, and he doesn't really see himself getting back in the ring and rematching Ryan Garcia. This was his own words. This is not, this is where y'all get cooked. This is where the Haneyacks get cooked, because everything to them is hate despite how true it is. You can go on ESPN. He was a live in studio guest. He had a gray shirt on, and this was when Ryan popped dirty initially. So nothing has changed. Ryan's suspended. Devin hasn't had a comeback fight or been back in the ring since the fight. So what's changed? You guys are all over the place saying that the rematch, we don't know if we'll ever rematch him because he cheated. And you're also making it sound like once a cheat, always a cheat, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't believe that they truly want the rematch based on what they are saying. Devin in studio on ESPN said he'd never been outmatched like that, and he don't see himself really getting in the ring because Ryan could have really hurt him and permanently disabled him or whatever. So he sounded very emotional about that.
Interest in a rematch between the two of you. Yeah. How interested are you in getting back in there with him again?
Honestly, I'm not too interested in it. During the buildup, we've seen a lot of interesting things from him. We've seen his character. We've seen the guy cheat. We see the type of person that he is. I don't see myself ever, getting back in the ring. But I'm a fighter. I'm speaking, right now with how I feel. But we never know what the future holds.
Then later on, Bill Haney says Ryan has 48-hour deadline to sign up for VADA, some man-made Bill Haney-made deadline, while Ryan's suspended. And then 48 hours elapsed, and they said, oh, time's up. Ryan's a cheater. He doesn't want to sign up for VADA, no rematch. It's like, what are you talking about? So these are the guys that want a rematch, but Devin's in studio saying that he didn't want a rematch. Bill Haney is putting up false and fake deadlines that he made up. Ryan lets them expire. So how do you want the fight? How do you want the fight if you had this alleged deadline that he missed and nothing's changed since that? He still hasn't signed up for the year-round VADA or whatever you wanted him to sign up for. So to me, none of this stuff is making sense. I think the criticism is getting to the Haneys. They're not used to being in this position, so they're doing whatever to stay afloat. That's what I truly believe. I also have a article from ESPN, and I highlighted it. Bill also told us he's not sure his son would take a rematch with Ryan Garcia, even if they could guarantee Ryan Garcia's fight preparations were clean. This is from Bill Haney, quoted by ESPN. Again, the ultimate deceiver. What's changed? Ryan's still suspended. He still missed your deadline. Nothing has changed. Devin nor Ryan have come back in the ring, and now you guys are saying you want the rematch, but everything you've said leading up to this moment has been hit or miss. 1 minute you want it, the next minute you say, oh, we don't know. Ryan needs a lifetime ban. I don't know even if Ryan was clean, ESPN, I don't know if Devin will ever want to rematch him. Devin said that on ESPN Live, right? And then now you're saying we want what the people want. You're all over the place. Not to mention the lawsuit. You're suing a man. Everyone else is like, get it back in blood. I ain't really seen this happen in boxing. De La Hoya's like, I've been boxing almost 40 years and I ain't never seen this. Cuz suing, blah, blah, blah. Right? So you can listen to Boxing Ego or you can listen to Bill Haney. The reason why people are skeptical is because you guys keep changing. And I have more than enough ammunition to prove it. I've given you some examples. Don't make me push the button and really expose it further because you know how detailed I could get. That's the reality of it. If y'all came out the gate say, we hate Ryan, we need strict, stringent drug testing, and it's up. We'll rematch him. He can't beat us clean. We'll beat the shit out of him. Watch. I have no problem with that. That's what you supposed to say. But that's not what the Haneys said. It's been back and forth like Serena and Venus playing tennis. 1 minute they want it, then they saying they don't want it. They want Ryan banned a lifetime. Make this make sense. How can you want someone to be banned for eternity, for life? And the Haneyacks, they vouch for this. They're like, yeah, Ryan's a cheater, ban him for life. The Haneyacks got to be the fakest in boxing because Povetkin even, he tried to cheat Wilder. They didn't even say this. You have content creators who were around when Wilder got cheated or when Povetkin tried to cheat him. They didn't call for a lifetime ban, but then they did it for Ryan Garcia. And Ryan was on a SARM, which, if we're talking about potency, is less, Osterine is less hardcore than Meldonium. Look it up in terms of the benefits and whatnot. So these guys have some kind of fixation or they're being paid or whatever from the Haneys to the point where they don't care unless it's looking out for Devin Haney, even if it doesn't make sense. Even if they're lying, they don't care. They don't care if they have to lie, what they have to claw and scratch to try to put this out. And then the same side, the Haneyacks side, is the one crying about content creators and saying narratives are being pushed and formulating. Telling the truth is not a narrative. Newsflash, that's not a narrative to keep it real and tell the truth. A narrative is like you're pushing an agenda, propaganda, something that's not entirely true or not true. Everything I said in this video is facts and I could prove it. They can't. That's the difference. Go ahead, listen to this interview and tell me what you gathered from it. The parts I heard, I didn't really hear much. Bill's trying to, he says he has so many options. They said they were fighting in December and then there's no December fight. I mean, we're about to hit New Year. There's no way they could fight in the next couple of days. You know what I mean? It's done. So they lied about that. They're back and forth with the rematch. Bill said he had big news to announce 2-3 weeks ago. This is all facts. This is all facts, people. And then now you say you have so many options and so many roads you could travel, but that's not what these other promoters and fighters are saying. Teofimo said, we offered Devin to fight and he ain't take it. Confirmed by Bob Arum, right? Eddie Hearn said he offered Devin an Australia fight with Liam Paro when he was IBF champion. And Liam Paro said he didn't take it. He wanted silly money. So where are these options? You're saying content creators are putting out fake narratives. So prove us wrong. Announce Devin's next fight by New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. Plenty of time, right? If you have all these options, but they're lying because they don't know their next move. If they knew, why are you not on the February? If Turkey want to work with you, why are you not on February 22nd card? I'm gonna make this painful for y'all. I'm gonna make this real painful because you know what I'm saying is true. In your heart, you know what I'm saying is real. Why didn't they put, that was a massive card. That'd be a great time for Devin Haney to come back, especially since he lied and said he was coming back in December, right? Why not fight on that February 22nd card? You said you want to fight in Saudi Arabia, fact. You said Turkey wants to work with you, fact. Okay, maybe it's not Teofimo, but why not a tune-up? That works, but they don't have a tune-up. Bill Haney said in this interview, we'll see, Devin's just training and we're gonna look at the options. So again, believe Boxer Ego or believe the people who can't keep their story straight. My story's always been straight, and it's like that when you're telling the truth. You don't really, that's the beauty of telling the truth. You don't have to remember your lies, right? Bill Haney is trying to get the public on his side and it's not working. He's saying he wants to fight who the people want. Like he's Muhammad Ali, the people's champ, right? That's not, and he even said in this interview, and I could keep going on because I'm the best in the business. He even said in this interview that it shouldn't be what the promoters want and it should be about the fans again. Garbage. All this stuff is garbage. Garbage. Here's why. The fans, to a degree, they pay for tickets, merch, stuff like that. The fans aren't in charge of booking the venue. The fans don't have a actual linear television network. The fans can't get a camera crew going and televise a whole broadcast. So you still need the promoters. The Haneys played their cards how they played it. They said they were their own promoters. They called promoters names like Eddie Hearn, said he was the fake snake because he didn't give them tickets to Joshua. And now they're acting like they have plentiful options, but you're suing Golden Boy. You said Eddie Hearn is the fakest ninja you've ever met. You called promoters BITCHASSs. You said these ad promoters, they're the reasons I haven't come back. Then now you're trying to make, or your dad is trying to make it like y'all got crazy options, out the wazoo. It's that simple. But that's why you have to watch how you treat people. That's why you don't want to burn bridges, right? Bob Arum said, we offered you T.O. and you said no. Notice the Haneys, they can't really dig their nails in and go crazy on Bob Arum because he's a promoter. They might have to work with him in some capacity. So they haven't really outright went off, but they try to go off on YouTube channels. You got a bigger problem. You got bigger fish to fry. You got to repair the relationship with these promoters that you created. You suing Golden Boy. You suing Ryan. You called promoters and blamed them for you not coming back. You turned down Top Rank when they won the purse bid and became a champion of Recess. And now your dad is saying Devin is a champion, which I don't believe he is. If he's a champion in Recess, I don't consider that an active champion, right? And so on and so forth. You've done this. Now you got to live with the results. And like I keep saying, when you're winning, everything's gravy. Everything is good because you're winning. The downside to this whole thing is if you treat people bad, content creators, promoters, fans, and you act crazy and say, call people out their name, this, that, and the third, the back half of that, when things aren't so hot for you, now you're in the doghouse. Now you're in a different position. And now it's this kumbaya, black empowerment. Oh, black fathers should be all in the video. We want to fight who the fans want to see and the people want to see. Bro, you need a promoter to pay for the fight and pay your purse. The fans don't got nothing to do with that. Like, the fans can't come up with the money that Turkey can come up with, or whoever. The fans ain't gonna come up with these networks and platforms for you to fight on. So listen, I said what I said. Announce the next fight. If what I'm saying is a lie, because I feel like Bill Haney is subbing me, if what I'm saying is a lie, announce Devin's fight by New Year's Day. Deuce.